Evil Dead Rise 2023. So the film story begins, and the dangerous jungles are shown where we see a strange house where 3 friends had come to celebrate the holidays. This house was on the bank of the river, where 2 friends were sitting and having a lot of fun. But one of their friends was inside the house, whose name was Jessica. She was in a very bad condition. Now, a friend comes to Jessica, who was having a lot of fun with her and has also read a book, making her listen to it. But don't know what happened to Jessica. She starts reading the book in her strange voice. Listening to Jessica's voice, it felt like someone else was speaking inside her. She starts vomiting, and her eyes change color. After which she suddenly separates her friend's hair from her skin and goes outside, separating her friend's head from his body. She killed both of her friends. Afterward, we see Jessica flying in the air, and her friend who was watching all this while crying. By now, you must not have understood who Jessica was and why this happened to these 3 friends. To know all this, our story goes back 1 day ago, from where it all started. So, we see an old building, and in its apartment, a woman named Ellie used to live with her 3 children. She used to live with her children apart from her husband. One night, Ellie's sister comes to her house, whose name was Beth. She comes to Ellie's house and gives gifts to her children that she brought for them. Beth brought gifts for Ellie's husband because she didn't know that her sister doesn't live with her husband. When Beth asks Ellie about her husband, it creates a sad environment. That's why Ellie, to talk to Beth, sends her children out to get pizza so that she can talk to her sister alone. When Beth finds out about her sister's husband, Beth tells her sister that she should have told her about it. When the children were coming back after taking the pizza, there was an earthquake. The 3 children sit in the car parking area. Everything was fine after a while, but it wasn't just that. Ellie's eldest son, Danny, sees that because of the earthquake, there was a big hole in the car parking, so big that he could go inside. Danny goes inside the hole to see what could be there, where he finds some books and recorded audio tapes. Part 1, 2, and 3 were written on the tape. Danny found some pictures of the priest, the father, and he also found many holy crosses. It was clear that there was an exorcism to imprison an evil power. He also sees a grave from which Jesus Christ's statue comes out. He also found a book that was covered in cloth. Danny takes it with him without knowing anything. There, Ellie, their mother, was worried about her children because she had heard on TV that the nearby buildings had been damaged due to an earthquake. Ellie goes to a boy of her neighbor and asks him for help to find her children. There was also an old lady, but after a while, Ellie's children came home by the lift. Ellie scolds them after seeing them and tells them not to use the lift when there is an earthquake. She was going to take clothes for the laundry by the lift after saying this. Danny takes the book and the audio tapes he found. He takes them to his room. He tries to open the book, but it does not open because the book is covered with sharp teeth. Looking at the book, it seems as if it has someone's face. That's why his finger gets stuck on those sharp teeth, causing it to bleed. The blood falls on the book, but the surprising thing is that the book absorbs the blood inside. And that's when the book opens. We can see that there are strange pictures inside, as if someone is doing magic on someone. Danny doesn't read the book, but he starts listening to the audio tapes. In the first audio tape, there was a father who was telling that they have tried to understand the book with their friends, in which a strange kind of magic has been mentioned. Now, the next thing was in the second audio tape. When Danny plays it, the father was telling about the book and where they had found it. Suddenly, a demonic voice begins to be heard from the radio, as if a black power is imprisoned inside and trying to come out. Danny tries to stop the tape, but he can't. That's when we can see that the black power is released from the tape and enters Ellie in the lift, breaking her bones and mercilessly attacking her. Danny tries to stop the audio tape, but he can't. Meanwhile, the lights in their house also go out, and the pages of the book also start turning on their own. When Ellie's daughter checks the lights, she finds that there is light everywhere except in their house. That means whatever is going wrong is only happening in their house. After a while, Ellie comes back to her house, looking a little better, and she walks back to her house. But a while ago, we saw that the black power inside her had broken Ellie's bones. However, now Ellie is able to walk perfectly and goes to the kitchen to start cooking eggs. When her sister comes to her and calls her, she starts vomiting and behaving strangely. When Ellie comes to her senses, she just says, "She is inside me. Don't let her harm my children." After saying this, she faints and falls down. Ellie's sister and her children take her to the hospital, but everyone was afraid to go in the elevator, and the stairs were also broken due to the earthquake. Anyway, they all together put Ellie in the room. Now, the same boy from their neighbor, whom Ellie asked for help to find her children, he closes Ellie's eyes, but they open again. He closes them again, but they open once more. All of them pray for Ellie because they felt that she was going to die. Then her sister sits next to her and tells her how much she loves her. Then a bell rings on Beth's phone, which was not anyone else's but Ellie's. She was telling her sister that her body is burning. "Someone, please save her." And then she sits alive. When Beth touches her sister's body, it is really hot, as if her body is burning. Then Beth takes her to the bathtub. Suddenly, Ellie comes out of the water and starts walking on the wall, screaming so loudly that everyone is going to faint. At the same time, the water in the bathroom is also boiling. Ellie attacks everyone one by one. She tries to kill her daughter. Then her son Danny puts Ellie aside because he knows that there is some black power inside his mother. She also takes out the eyes of the neighbor and throws them into the mouth of another neighbor. Taking advantage of this, Beth closes the doors of the apartment with Ellie's children inside. Now Beth sees through a hole. Ellie had killed everyone in the house. Outside, Ellie's daughter fights with her brother Danny because she also knows that everything happened because of him. He had turned on the tape recorder and opened the magic book. Here they are fighting each other. Beth takes her youngest daughter into her arms and convinces her to open the gate. Now, strange things start happening with Ellie's elder daughter. She gets strange marks on her face, and worms come out of her mouth. When Beth goes to Ellie's elder daughter, she is eating pieces of glass in the kitchen. It means she is also under the control of that black power. Ellie is in control of the black power. It means that Ellie's elder daughter is also possessed like her. She attacks her Aunt Beth and tries to kill her sister. But her younger sister hits her with a doll on her head and saves herself. Now, Danny tells Beth everything, that all this happened because of him. Now, after knowing everything, Beth goes to Danny's room so that she can hear the last tape recorder. Beth puts on the headphones and starts listening to the tape recorder. Whoever is wrong is with him, no one else can hear her. When Beth listens to the third and last recording, then Beth knows the whole truth. That this book was given to a priest, the father. And he wanted to read this book completely. But then the church people removed the father from the church because it was a demonic book. It was made of human skin and written on with human blood. There were ways to call the dangerous demons of hell. The father wanted to understand all these things. Now Beth was listening to the same things in the tape recorder. After hearing all this, Beth was also convinced. In the kitchen, Ellie's elder daughter comes and attacks Danny and burns him. In the room where Beth was, Ellie also comes. Beth tries to fight her. Ellie says from her mouth, "Whoever I am, you can't defeat me easily." Now only Beth and Ellie's younger daughter were left. Ellie was about to kill Beth here. Then Ellie's younger daughter gives a scissor to Beth, which Beth puts in Ellie's mouth. It stops her for a while. Beth was about to break the door with a gun. Then Ellie wakes up. Beth fires a bullet at Ellie, which hits her leg. Ellie tries to trap her younger daughter in her sweet talks. But listening to her younger daughter, she says, "You are not my mom." Now one by one, those whom Ellie had killed start coming alive and say that no one will survive till evening. Beth and Ellie's younger daughter have no other way to run. But the lift is closed, and the door is also closed, and the keys are stuck in the lift. Because when Ellie was possessed, she had these keys in her hand. Ellie's daughter now cleverly takes out the keys by turning on the lift. And the lift starts running. But we can see that Ellie's elder daughter and Danny, who were in control of the demons after death, connect themselves to the lift. As the lift runs, their blood starts flowing inside it. As the lift comes down, the blood increases. There, the page of her book also turns, in which a strange type of creature is depicted. And in the meanwhile, Ellie also turns into that creature. As soon as the lift comes down, the blood also comes out. Beth and Ellie's younger daughter, soaked in the blood, sit in the car. But in front of them, Ellie comes again, in her demonic form. She attacks her younger daughter. Then Beth takes a chainsaw and starts killing her. But along with that, Ellie's elder daughter and Danny also come. Beth puts the three of them in the grinding machine and kills them. Now, killing the three members of her own family was a very horrific scene. But apart from this, Beth had no other way. Afterward, Beth takes Ellie's younger daughter and leaves from there. But that demonic black power is not over yet. Now let's see the scene of the next day. A girl, Jessica, comes down from the same lift, who used to live in the building below Ellie. And Jessica was the same girl we saw at the beginning of the story. Now when she comes down from the lift, she sees a lot of blood and is about to call the police. The demon inside Ellie comes and controls Jessica. Now you must have understood why Jessica killed her friends. And still, that demon is inside Jessica. What destruction that demon is going to spread, no one knows. The film ends with this.
Make sure you subscribe and turn on notification to watch more videos like this and show us support for our effort. Take care.